creatures of the night? Is your girl Tati. Let's talk about Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling Sacred Ground. This was a house show that took place last Friday, so it wasn't aired until Thursday. And it's free on their YouTube channel, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling YouTube channel, so go ahead and check it out. The show is slightly under 3 hours and 7 matches. The two, I guess you could say, the co-main events for the Women's Canadian Championship and the Men's Canadian Championship went slightly longer than everything else, and honestly, that's how it should feel when you have a main event. I can't even think like how many events that they've done so far since last year, but I absolutely love covering them because they are, I don't want to say new, they are a revamping of the original Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, and we're seeing things in a more modern take, and Scott D'Amore is looking to be in the forefront of Canadian wrestling, and I am all in for it. Scott was actually on the chat during the live premiering on the show on the YouTube channel, which I thought was pretty cool. And, I know he cares for pro wrestling and he wants to make a difference. So I'm all in for it. And I like to see wrestling companies when they start off, and I like seeing how they grow. That's one of the reasons why I got into AEW. It was a little rocky for me getting into AEW at first, but seeing these younger companies grow and becoming successful, I really, really love seeing that. So let's talk about the show and what happened. We start off with trios match. We have our uncle, Billy Gunn, teaming up with Bhupinder Gujjar and Psycho Mike. Lord have mercy, Psycho Mike, take me. Please take me. To go against Sheldon Jean, Bryce Hanson, and Brent Banks. I thought this was a really great way to start off the show. Everybody's kind of, the babyface team's a little silly, especially with Psycho Mike doing his body slam shit that he always do. And people really relate to Billy Gunn, who is kind of like that type of person that can easily hype up the crowd. So it was great for a opening match. I do want to also point out that these people that are on the show are mostly the regulars that you'll see. So Billy's one of the regulars that I've seen in almost every show that they've done so far. And it's nice seeing familiar faces because even though they don't have a TV deal as of yet, they're getting you familiar with who is part of Maple Leaf, and then you get a feel of who's the guests that are being featured on the show. Baby faces end up taking the win, which is obviously Billy's team. After the match, Billy gets on the mic and he's telling the kids under 12 or some shit. I think he said kids 7 and under, cover your ears, so he can do his whole little rhetoric things about suck it and all that shit that he'd be doing, whatever. And it was pretty interesting. I thought it was okay to start out the show. Now after this, we have tag action. We have Jesse Bieber teaming up with Raj Singh to go against El Reverso and Mo Jabari. Mo Jabari and El Reverso, they're obviously the baby faces in this group. The crowd is enjoying them. And I should have seen something coming because Jimmy Jacobs has joined commentary. Now this is something that I'm not gonna lie, I don't understand why in almost all their shows they're switching between commentators and things like that. That part I'm not really sure why. We did not have our Uncle Don and Mauro Ranallo doing commentary as usual, like how they've been doing on the pay-per-views. But like I said, this is a house show, so we have Beta Scott, and then we have several people just coming in throughout different matches or whatnot. It's a little different, but it's not too different from what they've done before on other shows. Jimmy Jacob leaves commentary so that he can bring a chair to Mo Jabari. And Mo picks up the chair and he's like, I don't want to do anything with this. And he ends up throwing the chair. And that's all a distraction so that he can get his ass whooped by the Heels. And the Heels end up taking the win. Jimmy Jacobs have been at a couple of the past 3 shows. And I'm thinking that he's looking to form some type of alliance. And I'm not necessarily sure where it's going. Another thing to keep in mind as well is the shows are not weekly. And honestly, I couldn't really tell you like if there's like a set amount of time in between each show. So whenever they just do them, they just do them. And I think that's a good thing so far since they don't have a TV show. So right now it looks like Jimmy might be trying to come up with like a little bit of a little group to be running things over there. Not sure, but I would be curious to see where that's going. After this, we have PCO teaming up with Shotzi Blackheart to go against Chris Chambers and Taylor Rising. This, now look, PCO, I'm not a big fan of. Something about him is just like, I've tried to get into it, but not really getting into it. But what I liked was that the girls and the guys are able to interact with each other and wrestle with each other. Now, it wasn't a huge focus like how you see in other tag team matches, but they did get a chance to go against with the opposite sex, and I actually like that. Now, people ask me about this all the time, like, do you think it's okay? Personally, I think it's okay. Everybody in the ring are professionals. They know what the fuck they're doing, and they're not being malicious with each other. This is not domestic violence or whatever. Some people, in a way, they feel like, wrestling or not, that men and women should not be touching each other. In a way, you know what, honestly, I don't agree. I don't agree with that at all. Everybody's professionals, and we're getting shit done in the name of entertainment, which is cool. I actually really did enjoy this match, and I feel like PCO, he's obviously Canadian, and people really gravitate towards him, even though I don't. He's that guy that I feel like, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say the top guy, but while they're still doing these shows without the weekly show yet, you're starting to see not just the regulars, but who might be some of the top guys within Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, and PCO definitely come off as one of those guys, or at least definitely one of the most popular guys within Maple Leaf. So PCO and Shotzi Blackheart ends up taking a win in a really fun tag match. Now, in what was one of my favorite matches of the night, we have Tarek going against Ace Austin and going against Stu Grayson. And Stu Grayson is another one too. Stu Grayson, okay? Stu Grayson, if you're watching different promotions with Stu Grayson, it's like one place he's a babyface, one place he's a heel, and it's kind of like making me dizzy because I'm like, bro, can you just pick a side already? Because like, I'm watching all this shit and you're not the same everywhere. I feel like he's definitely that guy that they're building to perhaps be one of their top guys. Everything that he's done so far has been absolutely amazing. Ace Austin, I believe it's his second match with Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, and they tore it up. I don't know what it is about these triple threat matches that just have been so great. Stu Grayson ends up taking the win. Honestly, I was kind of cheering for Ace Austin a little bit. Maybe I'm being a little biased, but something about him I really like. But Stu Grayson, I think they're building for him to be one of those top guys. And another reason why I feel like it's important, I feel like he can be a little bit more reliable because, you know, right now, our boy Josh Alexander has the Canadian Championship, and what happens when they end up having a TV deal and they're going to be on for like a weekly basis? I think for a stable champion that they can rely on, Stu Grayson definitely would be that guy that I would end up at some point seriously considering putting the Canadian title on, even though I do really love Josh. But this is about stability in terms of you know, Stu not being signed with AEW, but Josh being signed with AEW. So he's definitely looking really strong, and I can't wait to see what they do with him in the future. He is amazing. Really great match if you're going to watch anything from this show. Now, after this, we have the PWA Championship Grail PWA Champions Grail Championship. Am I saying that right? Why do I feel like I'm saying that wrong? Okay, so PWA, Maple Leaf is part of an alliance with Qatar Wrestling and Oceania Wrestling. So this title goes in between all the promotions that are within that alliance, which obviously makes sense. And right now, the champion is Rohan Raja, and he's going against Bishop Dyer, formerly known as Baron Corbin. It starts off slow. and then it really picks up. For me, I have not yet felt the connection with this title yet. Prior to them bringing in the Canadian Championship for the women and the men, this was a title that was featured on every show because that title was already around. And for me, I just haven't felt the connection with it yet. I don't know what it is, but we'll get to it at some point. Bishop Dyer, he's had some matches in Maple Leaf, and so far I am also not 100% connecting with him yet, but we're watching, we're seeing where it's going. I didn't think the title was really going to go anywhere because let's face it, they said that this is a house show, and house shows is really rare, extremely rare, if any, to be changing the title. When it seemed like Bishop Dyer was about to fucking kill Rohan and take the win in that title, Rohan is against the corner of the ropes, and Bishop Dyer is stomping this guy's ribs into his organs, and the referee is like, hey, cut it out. Then he goes to push off Bishop Dyer off of him so he can stop. Bishop Dyer kind of goes around the ref and still keeps stomping him out. The ref pushes Bishop Dyer out the way, say like, hey, stop, you're being really aggressive, and I'm gonna have to call off the match if you keep going. And for whatever reason, Rohan kicks the referee in the nuts, like balls and everything, all right? And now the referee is down, and the referee ends up calling the match. And obviously, it's disqualification, the title not going nowhere. So Rohan don't give a fuck, and he ends up leaving. Bishop Dyer obviously not happy about it because he was on the verge, or what looks like on the verge of taking the win. I'm pretty sure maybe we'll get a rematch with these two at some point. Up next, we have the Flatliners going against the Good Brothers. Oh my God. So the Good Brothers, I just don't know. I mean, I've seen, I want to say almost all the matches that they've done this year, and I've just been like, something about it. I'm also not connecting with these guys. And to be honest with you, I've never been like a huge fan of Carl Anderson or Doc Gallows for whatever reason. I don't know. The match was okay to me. The Good Brothers end up taking the win. So far, I have not liked any of the matches that I've seen them do. I'm talking about the Good Brothers within Maple Leaf. And I just don't know what it is about them where I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe it's the characters and then them in the ring. I kind of feel like we got to slow it down with them in the ring. I just don't know what it is. But honestly, I'm just not caring too much about the Good Brothers. Now, I do feel like they're going to continue to probably take some wins. And when they end up introducing Canadian Tag Championships, that these guys could possibly be holding the titles before anyone else. Because to be honest with you, there aren't really much teams, and right now people are just being thrown together in trios actions or in tag action, and not no real set tag team that's been doing it for God knows how long. So I kind of look at them as in they're definitely building these guys up to being the top tag team within Maple Leaf. And when they introduce those tag titles, I can definitely see them being the first holders of those titles. And honestly, I don't care. Now we have our co-main event. We have the women's Maple Leaf, the Maple Leaf Women's Canadian Championship. Giselle Shaw, who is coming in as champion. However, we do have a very interesting development. This is a winner's take all match. Giselle is going against Priscilla Presley, also known as Gigi Dolan. Gigi. Priscilla, she has the Destiny Women's Champion, and Destiny is a Canadian promotion, and this is a good thing because obviously Scott D'Amore is taking the whole thing seriously about putting Canadian wrestling on the map, and him being able to have Maple Leaf work with other Canadian promotions is a really good thing. This match was really, really good. Really good. And with the situation of winner takes all, I had nothing within me that felt like Priscilla was going to win. It didn't, I mean, as great as the match was, and there were some times where it looked like, oh, maybe she might take the win, I'm thinking mostly about the Canadian championship and what they're trying to do with the prestige of that title, and I felt like Giselle was going to retain. Giselle is a heel, obviously, and she ends up taking all by putting her feet on the rope while the referee was counting. I liked it. I really liked it. I think Giselle has been looking really strong as a champion. And I do feel like with her holding both of these titles, then she'll be able to wrestle at Destiny Wrestling as well, putting that title on the line and also bringing other girls over from Destiny Wrestling to participate within Maple Leaf. And this is what we're looking for in terms of a partnership, by having people win titles and having those other promotions be able to be integrated with those promotions. And I think that's a really great thing for the future. Congratulations to Giselle. She got 2 belts. 2 belts. Main event and best match of the night, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling Canadian Championship on the line. Our champion, Josh Alexander, going against TJP. Oh my God. First of all, this was actually amazing. And I was reading some article about how TJP is, I think Josh said, like his favorite opponent to go against. And their chemistry is really great with each other. I have been seeing for like a few weeks ago, people have been talking shit about TJP, and I honestly, I feel like people who, you don't have to like a wrestler, but I felt like the people who were saying negative things towards him and his wrestling, or the people who just saw him on WWE and didn't get a chance to enjoy him like now in New Japan, which is 2 different things. It's so different. And I found myself kind of defending TJP a few weeks ago when people were talking shit about him, because I think he's an amazing wrestler. Whatever happens outside the ring, I don't give a fuck. Anyway, match of the night. Josh is an amazing wrestler, and with him with this title, I feel like this makes him look good with him in this title, because I have been feeling some type of way with him being part of Don Callis family. Like, I like him there, but there's so many big personalities, and there is what I see is favoritism within the group, with Uncle Don favoring other wrestlers over, the other guys, and Josh being one of those guys that unfortunately is taking a lot of the L's. And I'm just like, this guy's amazing. Like, he could be a top guy in AEW, but he's one of the new guys, so it's just not going to happen right now. So if you really want to enjoy seeing Josh in the ring, Maple Leaf is the place for you to be watching that. And he's been a really great champion so far. Even before he won the title, I think he's been doing really well in terms of his matches. So I'm really glad that he ended up being the first person to hold this title. And I think he's been holding it down as champion for for the time being. TJP put his best foot forward, but it's not enough, and he ends up taking the L. And just a friendly competition. After the match, they end up hugging each other and whatnot. But I really did feel like watching this made me feel like, damn, look at this man. And I like when he went against Hangman on Dynamite, nobody thought he was going to win anyway, grudge match or not. But I feel like he just didn't get a chance to look his best in AEW so far. He's had some good stuff, but if you want to see the best of Josh in 2025, go back and watch some of his matches from Maple Leaf, because he's been doing a killer job as champion. Overall, this was a really great show, and I can't wait to see what they do moving forward. I saw they had like some sponsorships and things like that. Like, I think that they're going the right direction in terms of becoming a bigger promotion, and them putting their shows on YouTube. I think all their shows are on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken, is the right choice to go, because people are able to see what they have to offer as a promotion. And I feel like they have a lot of great wrestlers, they have great matches, and they have the right person there, Scott D'Amore, and his team putting Maple Leaf Wrestling on the map, and I can't wait to see where things go for them. It's been great so far. So go ahead and check out their show Sacred Ground and all the other shows that they have posted on their YouTube channel, which is Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. I think they're doing great, and if you're looking for great wrestling, make sure y'all subscribe, because I know they're going to have some more shows coming on in the future. And you guys know where to find me, right here at WrestleTati, covering AEW, New Japan, Ring of Honor, and all that other stuff. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.